On the railway strike, I also don't understand who it is even benefits in terms of the rail. Like, what is the actual cost of their bottom line? How is their power over our political institutions this strong that Dems would risk such a backlash? Like, I get it's probably a miscalculation. They didn't realize how much backlash would come, but I mean, come on. Well, all right. I mean, I think I explained this before, but and since, you know, what I've read sort of reinforces this. The actual money that they would spend on 6 days of sick leave for each individual, if they all took those 6 paid the sick days, right? 115,000 people is I think largely irrelevant to them. What is the real issue is that you're losing those. They're assuming that if they give those 6 paid 6 days, people are going to take them. And if, you know, we don't know what the number of people who take sick days are, but we know they're inhibited from doing so because if they take more than like 2 or 3, they're not paid, incidentally, they will get fired. Period. End of story. You're just not allowed to and keep your job. And that allows the railway companies to maintain a much smaller workforce. And that allows them to do things like 6-mile train instead of 5-mile long trains. Mm-hmm. And that allows them to save a tremendous amount of money and make far more profits. And understand, there are individuals who work there that control these companies, and board of directors and major investors who control these companies. And, you know, you could fit all of them probably in this studio. I don't know, 50 people, 100 people, 200 people. And they're making a ton of money because they have created this work model.
Which is a virus that is not just confined to the railroad industry, by the way. I mean, like, efficiency overall has really burned us over the past few years. I mean, it's a different kind of like efficiency model, but the through line is like
it depends on
corporate consultants basically saying that we can have no damn redundancy because that cuts into our profit margins. And
we should say, you know, like the point that Emma was making in terms of like, you know, what you mean by efficiency. What we have a law on the books, 100-year law on the books, because this country understood the importance to basically, for lack of a better term, national security, to that we have a rail system and an airline system that can deliver goods in a timely fashion. To me, that's an argument that we should nationalize it. Putting that aside for a moment, well, how do you define efficiency in that context? Is it just we can make the highest amount of profits? Or is it that we have a rail system that is a durable, that is durable in terms of our supply chain? A big part of the reason why we've had inflationary pressures has been because our supply chain has been so weak over the course of COVID. And the reason why we had so many, like, you know, containers backed up at different ports, both a function of like how many trucks could go in there, but also how many rail lines, you know, we had operating. And so efficiency in this is not just a question of like, what kind of profit can you make? Efficiency is also how durable is it if it's hit with certain outside forces? Will this system continue to provide goods for our country? And so they don't care about that latter definition of efficiency because that's not, again, this is like, you know, I mentioned this with Grimm. This is offloading externalities to society and privatizing the profits.
Mm-hmm. And then also just if there is a disruption, it's the workers' fault too.
Yes.
So which makes it so much easier for them.